Why vision boards aren't cheesy, why they're not a lot of little woo-woo, what everyone thinks it might be, right? And here's the thing, your brain needs a target. So it's consistently scanning your environment for what's important to you. And if you don't tell it what to look for, it's gonna default to fear, stress, and distraction. So that's where vision boards come in. They're not wish lists. They're visual reminders of your intentional direction that you sat down and you crafted when you were in your high state.
Welcome to What If It All Goes Right, the show for high achievers who are ready to stop fearing the worst and start stepping into their power. I'm your host, Angela Gargano, 6-time American Ninja Warrior, keynote speaker, peak performance coach, and former biochemist. Every episode, I'm going to give you the mindset shifts and practical tools to shake off the doubt, reignite your energy, and remember just how powerful you really are. Because it's time to stop fearing the worst and start asking, what if it all goes right? What if it's already going right?
Hey everyone, it's Angela Gargano, and welcome back to What If It All Goes Right. Today we're talking about something that used to make me roll my eyes and be like, whatever, which is vision boards. And yep, the thing that people cut out magazines and tape on their wall like it's a 2010 Pinterest type energy. And I honestly did used to think they were cheesy, but here's the truth. Vision boards aren't just some feel-good crafting project. They're actually one of the most effective mindset tools you can use if you know how to do them right. And they're not about manifesting it in a magical way. They're about training your focus, and when you train your focus, you actually change your actions, which inherently changes your life. So in this episode, we're going to break down 3 things: why vision boards aren't cheesy and the science behind why they actually work, the real benefits, how they help you stay clear, consistent, and resilient, and also how to actually build one that works for you, not anyone else, but you. And also, while we're here, I'm gonna go through a lot of the basics of the vision board here today, but if you literally want to do this with me, I'm gonna be hosting a vision board workshop where we will sit down live and go through exactly how to do this. I'll make you write out all your goals and we'll do it in real time. Just head over to the show notes and you'll learn more about the date for that workshop and you can hop on in and we can do this together. But before we dive in, make sure you're following the What If It All Goes Right podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you've been loving these episodes, it would mean the world to me if you just left a quick rating or review. That's how we keep growing this community of strong, grounded, and go-getters just like yourself. So seriously, can you pause for a second and just rate it for me? Thank you so much. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna get into the first part here, which is why vision boards aren't cheesy, why they're not a lot of little woo-woo, what everyone thinks it might be, right? And here's the thing, your brain needs a target. So it's consistently scanning your environment for what's important to you. And if you don't tell it what to look for, it's going to default to fear, stress, and distraction. So that's where vision boards come in. They're not wish lists. They're visual reminders of your intentional direction that you sat down and you crafted when you were in your high state. And I want you to think about athletes, right? They use visualization consistently, right? Before a competition, I would literally picture myself on the American Ninja Warrior course, every obstacle, every move, landing it. And I'd feel my hands on the bar, hear the crowd, feel the adrenaline. That was not magic. That was me neural priming myself. And your brain doesn't fully distinguish between what's vividly imagined and what's experienced. So when you see your goals visually, repeatedly, your brain starts to build pathways that make those outcomes feel familiar. And familiar feels safe, and safe feels achievable. That's how you turn the "I hope I can do this" into "I am meant to do this." So no, vision boards aren't cheesy. They're training tools for your subconscious mind. And you're programming your focus instead of leaving it to chance and leaving it to what your default wants to be, right? We always talk about living your life by design versus default. This is living your life by design. So why are they actually beneficial? Here's what most people miss. Vision boards aren't about sitting back and waiting for things to happen to you. They don't just put them on the board and they don't just like, woo woo, what happens, right? They're about staying locked in on what you're working towards when life gets noisy, which it will. And the benefits are huge if you do them with intention. For one, they sharpen your clarity, right? You stop chasing random goals because you know exactly what matters. So putting this board somewhere where you can see every single day and being like, oh, that's what matters to me. Two, they build consistency. When your vision board is in front of you every day, you stay emotionally connected to your why. And that emotional connection fuels action when motivation fades, which it will. We talk about this all the time. Motivation is not going to be here forever. They reframe your identity, okay? You start to see yourself as the person capable of those goals, not someone trying, but someone becoming. When you identify with your goals, your daily decisions shift naturally. It's like the ultimate hack over here. And four, they fight burnout. When you're exhausted or discouraged, seeing your vision reminds you why you started in the first place. And that helps you keep pushing instead of quitting. So yeah, the magazine clippings might look cute, but what's really happening is physiological conditioning. You're literally rewiring your focus every time you look at it. Game changer. So how do we build this vision board, and how do we build one that actually works? So this is obviously the fun part. How do we actually build this and make sure that it's not just another fluffy board, right? So I've seen people just like put a bunch of stuff on their vision board and it actually wasn't anything. There's no really wrong way to make a vision board, but here's the process I've used with myself and my clients that actually works. And like I said, we're going to be doing a full workshop, so go in the show notes and find the link for that and we can do it. Step one, reflect on what's missing. Before you start printing photos, I want you to take time to reflect on your past year and ask yourself, what worked this year? What worked? What didn't work? What do I want to feel more of in this upcoming year of 2026? And what areas of my life need more focus? Maybe it's health, relationships, growth, adventure, self-worth. And like I said, I'll dive into this more on exactly like rating all of these when we go through this in the workshop. The goal isn't just to create a pretty collage, it's to create a compass. It's for you to really take a moment to self-reflect, because sometimes we don't actually know the areas that we haven't been focusing on, that we've been lacking on, right? Because what's easy to do is it's easy to focus on all the things that we're like really good at and that we've been doing really good at. And then we're avoiding some of the areas that could really potentially change your life. So getting really intentional when it comes to that and really reflecting back on that is going to be really important. And while, like I said, in the workshop, I'm going to go through and we're going to do it, give yourself some time to sit with that list, go for a walk, take a shower, see if there's things that you want to add to it. Like, give yourself the opportunity to really reflect on things. Those things might just come to you. Put some music on, all the different pieces, but don't feel like you need to get this all done in one day. And I just want to say that very clearly. Don't feel like you need to do the whole reflection or the whole board in one day. I would give yourself the space and the opportunity to really dive in. Otherwise, sometimes you might be putting stuff on there that you're not really sure that you want. Step two is to get specific. And we went through this in another podcast episode, right? You don't want to fill your board with just a random aesthetics and, good vibes, like kind of stuff, right? It's cute and all, but pick specific outcomes and specific feelings that you really want to have, okay? An example is, instead of saying, I want to get fit, use an image of you doing a pull-up or a race bib from the event you want to complete, okay? Get really specific on that. Instead of, I want more confidence, find a photo that represents how that confidence looks or feels. Like, is it standing on a stage? Is it smiling mid-workout? Like, what does that actually feel like? Get specific on that. And tie every image that you're going to put on that board to some kind of intention, right? If it doesn't evoke some kind of emotion, it really doesn't belong on the board, especially if you want to be super, super successful with this. And step three, mix visuals and words. So combine powerful visuals with affirmations or mantras that anchor your mindset. Phrases like strong, focus, unstoppable. For me, my board at one point said, I will persist until I succeed. And feel free to totally steal these. And if you're listening to this episode now, take some time. I know for me, sometimes the word actually comes from me. For me, my words this year, my phrase is going to be dialed and delusional, which I love. Maybe it's, I'm not waiting for the perfect moment, I'm creating it. Maybe it's, I'm living my life by design instead of default. Maybe it's progress, not perfection. Figure out what really resonates with you, and it will just come to you sometimes. Again, sometimes when you're sitting here and you're like, I need to know it right now, it's hard to figure out, but it will come to you. The words remind you who you're becoming. The images show you what that looks like. It's a great reminder. And step four, place it where you can actually see it. For a while, I had mine in my bathroom. I'm literally in there, right, every day. Mine's in my bedroom right now. This is key. Your board has to live where your eyes go every day, on your wall, on your fridge, on your phone. even in, mini travel version of it in your journal. I even have it as a background of my computer. And don't make it once and just forget it. You need to see it, you need to feel it, and you need to reconnect with it daily. So it's important that it's in front of you. Step 5, pair it with action. So here's like the biggest truth bomb here, okay? The vision board without execution, without actually taking action, which is why some people actually call it an action board, it's just arts and crafts, right? So for every image on that board, you need to write down at least one tangible action that's gonna move you towards it. So you actually do the thing, right? Maybe it's a picture of a pull-up bar and you write train pull-ups twice per week. Like there's an action associated to the visual that you're gonna be training it twice a week. Maybe it's a photo of a beach. Maybe it's save $200 a month for that summer trip that you've been dying to go on, right? So you can actually make it a reality. Maybe it's the quote about freedom. Maybe that's setting up work boundaries on the weekends. You don't manifest your goals, you train for them. So your vision board just keeps you in the mental gym every single day, okay? Seriously, the vision boards have changed my life. And there's a few different other tactics that I think that is really important when it comes to the vision boards. Again, one, I think you're gonna set your intention, set your goals, figure out your pictures. I personally create mine in Canva. I make it very simple. When we do the vision board workshop, I'll even give you the template that I use for mine. And then you can actually print it out. And I print mine out and I actually put it on I put it in a frame, which is pretty cool, right? So you can print it out, which is really cool on Canva. But yeah, allowing yourself moments to really sit with that vision board before you decide that like this is truly what you want, I think is really important. Because like I said, there's been times where I'm like, I gotta make it really quickly and I rushed it. And give yourself the time to sit with it before you print it out. I know I changed a lot of things in my board last minute. Identifying the action items for each of those, very important. Knowing that maybe sometimes some of the things in the vision board, they may not all happen this year. I photoshopped myself on the cover of Oxygen magazine in 2013, and I didn't get it till 2023. That's 10 years later. I mean, but it was there. It was actualized. It was going to happen. Maybe it didn't happen when I wanted it to happen. It happened after I had all the tools and everything I needed to be on this cover and be like, and really, it's right there, and really shift the narratives and the things that I need to learn throughout it. So know that it may not happen right away. I've even seen things, if you ever watched The Secret, I've seen things where people have dug up their old vision boards and this one guy pulled one out and he realized that he was living in the house that he had on his like first vision board. Like mind-blowing things have happened, okay? So just know that like it may not happen all at once, but really sit down and understand like, is this something that I really want? Give yourself that opportunity and that space in order to do it before just like nailing it down. Make it really simple. Like I said, you can totally do the magazine clippings. I just really like to use Canva. I just feel like it's super easy to just do it on there. And I really space out my quotes and I just figure out like as I'm working on it, especially as it takes me like a couple of weeks to really nail it down. I just start to, again, go back on that board and just really ask myself, is this what I truly want? Now, when I first made one, it obviously wasn't perfect, right? But I remember looking at that board every morning and seeing the photos of strong women, travel, my podcast, milestones, personal growth, and thinking, this is who I'm building. Like that is who I'm becoming. And fast forward, so much of that vision came to life. The cover, the opening the gym, the getting on American Ninja Warrior. And it's not because I taped it on my wall and just like waited, but it's because I stayed connected to it daily and I took action towards it daily, right? That's what a real vision board does. It keeps you locked in on the person you are becoming, even when the process feels slow. And just knowing that you have the ability to design and create your life was a huge aha moment for me. So if you haven't done it before, I highly recommend it. So here's your challenge this week. I want you to set aside an hour. I want you to get some images, think about some words, put some music on with your coffee, and just start to build a vision board or the things that are reflected in your head right now that you want and where you want to go. And remember, it's not cheesy. It's going to really help provide you the clarity that you need. And it's giving your brain the coordination for the life you are building, the life that you truly deeply want. And like I said, we are going to be doing a vision board workshop, so take a look out for that. And if this episode inspired you, send me a DM or tag me. If you did your vision board, I want to see what you're creating. And don't forget to follow What If It All Goes Right on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a quick rating or review. That's how we keep growing this amazing community. So here's to a new year full of direction, of drive, of daily action. I know you got this. You absolutely deserve and can have the life that you want, right? Sit down, really get intentional with it. What if it all goes right? What if it all goes right? You got this. See you soon.